I've got the E-Bycco E9 Plus. This is a pretty interesting e-bike. Fat tires, giant motor, lots of fun. Let's do it.
See the truth, no you don't have to lie to me. Don't fill your head with things and think you're free.
So let's talk a little bit about the E-Bycco E9 Plus. This is a 26-inch fat tire electric mountain bike. It is about $1,100, and it's one of the better looking bikes that I've ridden. I think this one actually is going to replace my daily driver. I like it that much. Now, there's a lot it's got going for it, so let's talk about that. Before we do, you got to talk about, what does it take to put this thing together, right? So it shows up at your front door, and it's mostly assembled. You have to put the handlebars on, you got to put the front wheel on, the pedals, the fenders, the light, and any other accessories that come with it. Mine came with a cell phone charger, cell phone holder, cell phone charger, which is actually pretty darn nice. And the seat, right? It's pretty basic, but it gave me a little bit of trouble. I struggled with the handlebars. I put them on backwards. That was my fault. And then the fender took two people. I needed my son to hold the wheel to kind of get it in place, but it can be done. You're going to need I suggest you grab a box cutter to open the box, open it up, kneel on the cardboard. That just makes it easier. And then, wire clippers. Basically, most of the time you're going to spend is unpacking this thing. Putting it together is not terribly difficult if you're handy at all. Even if you're just kind of a little handy or not really that handy, but you can follow directions, you can put this bike together. It took me about 45 minutes or so. If you're on top of your game, you can get done in less than 30. If you're, not super handy, probably take you about an hour. All right, so this is an electric bike, which means you can either ride it like a normal bike, you can use one of the 5 pedal assist speed modes, or you can just push a button, hold down the throttle essentially, and ride it like an electric motorcycle, right? That is up to you. Each level pedal assist will kind of stop at a slower speed. If you're either doing electric or if you're using the pedal assist, it'll only help you out so much. So that's kind of nice. You can kind of set the speed that you want it to be. And it does have a top speed. They say 34 miles an hour. I only got mine up to about 31 miles an hour, but kind of depends. Riding into the wind, uphill, all sorts of stuff like that. You can expect a range of 35 miles all electric or 70 miles pedal assist. Now, range definitely varies greatly. How you ride, when you ride, where you ride, all of that stuff, who you are, all sorts of stuff factor into the range. So really, all electric 35 miles is probably a stretch for most people. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's usually generally overstated. Now, who is this bike for, right? Really anybody that's looking for a nice, comfortable bike. I don't do a whole lot of mountain biking. I will on occasion. But this is great as just kind of a daily commuter. It is much lighter than some of my other mountain bikes. It's only 67 pounds, which I get it. It's heavy. It's a lot heavier than, a standard bike. But as far as mountain bikes, electric mountain bikes go, I've got some that are 95, 100, almost 100 pounds. So this one is substantially lighter. So that's nice. And it can handle riders up to 330 pounds. And they say recommended rider height anywhere between 5'6" and 6'7". And I'm definitely right in between there. I'm at 5'11", so I guess on the shorter side of that. But it fit me just fine. Chris, he's 6'2". He's ridden this, no problems with that. So it'll be good for a variety of different riders. All right, so let's talk some specs. It's got a 1,000-watt motor. It's a brushless motor. That's pretty darn powerful. It is powered by a 48-volt, 17.5 amp-hour battery. They say you should get about 1,000 cycles on that battery, so that's 1,000 charges. It's a 2-amp charger, which is going to take you about 7 to 8 hours to charge it fully. Now, it has a nice, colorful LCD display. It is waterproof. This whole thing is waterproof, so you can ride it in light rain or rain, I suppose. I don't like to ride in heavy rain. It's got a 7-speed Shimano shifter. I'm pretty sure all the e-bikes do. It does have a front suspension fork that you can lock, right? It is nice that it does have um, front suspension. It just makes riding a whole lot more comfortable. The frame is, they say, 6061 upgraded aluminum. I don't know what it's upgraded from, but it's nice. It is nice and light. They're 26 by 4-inch fat tires. And actually the saddle is super comfortable. So they do have that going for it. E-Bycco has a 3-year warranty on the frame and 1 year on both the parts and the battery, so that's kind of nice. So overall, this is a really nice bike. I like the way it looks. I like the way it rides. You have a nice bright headlight up front. There is a tail light in the back. Now, it isn't connected to the brakes, which is a little disappointing. The brakes work just well enough. You got dual discs in the front and the rear. They are not hydraulic disc brakes, so keep that in mind. It's really easy to adjust the brakes on a disc bike like this. So there is a shiny silver nut on the back of the caliper. And if you have a 5mm Allen wrench, right, if you tighten it clockwise, it kind of closes the gap, right? So if you take a look, the caliper should be really close to the disc, but not touching, right? So you would tighten it to close that gap by tightening it clockwise. And if you roll it counterclockwise, it'll open it up. So if the calipers are rubbing on the disc, you're going to want to turn that counterclockwise. Now, I didn't have to do that on this bike, but on another bike that I just reviewed, I did have to adjust the brakes a little bit. So not hard, and it's easy enough to do. You can also adjust them up at the handlebars for kind of minor adjustments as well. But, there are tons of YouTube videos out there. So if the brakes aren't exactly to your liking, you can kind of mess with that fairly easily with this bike. Yeah, this E-Bycco E9 Plus is going to be my daily driver. I like it. I like the way it looks. I like the way it rides. It's comfortable. It has enough get up and go. The motor, it's a rear hub, right? It's not a center drive. It is not a torque sensor. It's a speed sensor. And that helps keep the cost down on this bike, right? For $1,100, you're getting a solid mountain bike, a solid, easy riding, good looking mountain bike. There's even a coupon code in the video description. So if you want to save an extra $50, make sure you check that out. Then, you know what? It even has a nice little rack over the rear tire. So if you have to, carry a few things around, you can do it there. So what do you think about this E-Bycco E9 Plus? Is it a winner? Or is there something else that you think would be a better recommendation? I'd love to hear your comments down below. Ask me a question. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. Good luck, everyone, and happy riding.